As part of this series on copying and pasting on the Midas Heritage D, I thought it'd be worth having a look at one of the more advanced features, which is copying and pasting between scenes. You might find yourself in a scenario where you want to copy, for instance, some EQ settings from one scene to another, and that's actually possible via something called the show editor. But just quickly, if I bring these channel faders up, I'll just cycle through these scenes, and as you can see, there are some different fader levels. If I move those out of the way, you'll also notice that there are some EQ changes as well. Now, while we've got scene control open, I'm going to go over here to Show Manager, bringing up the Show Manager window, and from here we can access the Show Editor. Now that's going to bring up this screen, which also has in it your recall and store scope, but for the moment we're going to focus purely on parameters. Now when you select parameters, you're going to see all of these symbols come up, and these symbols represent changes in parameters in the scenes on a channel by channel basis. So you can tell what these symbols are by looking over here at these areas, which show you, for example, your fader here and equalization, and you also have up here type. So if you wanted to copy parameters from auxiliaries, matrices or masters, for example, you select your relevant type here. But we're going to focus on inputs, and for this exercise I'm going to say that I want to copy all of the EQ parameters from scene 2 to all of my other scenes, so my start, my scene 1 and my scene 3. And to do that I'm going to come over here to multiple selection, and I'm going to select the equalizer area and also the filter area, because I want to make sure that I get my high passes as well. I'm then going to come over here and select the channels within the scene that I want to copy from. And you can do that by touch and drag. You can do that by clicking individual channels if you just wanted to copy certain channels parameters. Or if you wanted to blanket copy all channels, you can touch scene and that will highlight all of the channels for that scene. Now I'm just working with a simple 8-channel setup here, so I'm just going to touch and drag for these 8 channels. I'm then going to go up the top here to copy, and I'm going to select copy, and then I'm going to touch the first channel in each of the scenes that I want to copy to, or to paste to rather, and you'll see that it auto populates for me. I'm then going to paste, and you'll see all of those parameters are now pasted into those scenes. Now you can also, while we're in this window, it's worth mentioning, use show defaults. So if I was to now select some channels that I wanted to reset very quickly, I could go to all parameters here, and I could say, well, actually I want all of these channels reset to default, and I can use my show default here and it will just reset the parameters to show default. If we navigate back to home now and we recall our first scene, you'll notice that these EQ parameters here have now changed, and that's because it's just recalled the parameters that have been copied across to it now. So as we cycle through our scenes now, you'll see that the EQs are the same for all channels where they've had their parameters copied across, or for all scenes I should say. We've also retained, as we cycle through, our fader settings because we didn't copy those across. So it's purely the EQ settings that have been copied.